Hello beautiful beings of YouTube, welcome to my channel. I'm going to do a reading on health for everybody. This is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest. And let's take a look at what the cards have to say. We've got King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and Nine of Cups. And we also have rest and relaxation. So this is really important. This is a key element of our health. Rest and relaxation is essential. So I want everyone to just take a moment and take into consideration what their health issues are, whether it's long-standing or whether it's been short-term. Just have a look and see from an observing point of view the kind of energy that's being held around that particular area. Now, why I'm bringing you attention to this is because when we are rested and relaxed, there is no resistance. There's no feeling of obstruction. It's actually a feeling of light and free and things flowing freely. So when we have some kind of health issue, at the energetic level, it's saying that there's actually tension there. And that can be a build-up from our situation, stresses, work, family matters, money matters. All of it contributes to tension, tying up our energies in matters that we harbour into our body. So these are the stories that we tell ourselves, and sometimes we have very, very good reasons, or we're very good at justifying why we're having this story. This is not to minimize what you're going through or your experience. This is about helping you to bring in that feeling of light and free. Now I'm feeling a pain in my chest. So for a lot of you that will come across this reading, it's matters of the heart. It might be grief. It is relationship matters on any level, whether it's platonic, intimate, family, work. It's interacting with other people. And I want you to have a look from an observing point of view, the tension or the type of energy that is being held in your body. Just have a look at it. Now with your mind's eye, just envelop it with the light. It may need more love being brought in, so consider a pink light. It may need a revitalizing light, so choose white. It may be a need for calm because there's so much tension, so choose blue. Or follow your instincts. So just allow it to envelop just around this tension, and then take a beautiful deep big breath. Now visualize the breath coming into that space, into the tension. You may find it a little bit restrictive or contracting, and that's okay. You just take what you need in that moment. Inhale, hold for a couple of seconds, and then release. So do that often with this particular health condition. Now I'd like to say that this is not to replace any professional or medical advice, but during the process you have this access to help with your own healing journey and and taking your power back and owning everything and being able to consciously choose where you'd like your life to unfold. But the key to any health condition is generally to do with how much relaxation we have. And you find that a lot of Eastern religions focus on the breath, and the reason being is it helps to synchronize mind, body and breath. The mind can go on forever and it can run 1,000,000 miles an hour. We all know this. It's about taking charge of our mind, pulling it back in and synchronizing it with something that cannot run as fast, which is our body. Our body needs rest. Our body needs relaxation. So for those who have an overactive mind, this is really important. This is a calling now to start to slow it down, rein it in. You own it, not it owns you. So we have the King of Pentacles presenting, the King and the Queen actually presenting here in this reading around health. So it's both about the physical realm, the realm of expression, the realm of effect. So when we have a look at this, it is the two working together. We have the masculine energy, which is our mind, our thoughts, and we have the feminine energy, which is our feelings and our creation. When they're working in harmony together, things flow smoothly. When we're out of harmony, there's discord. And the masculine aspect of ourselves will be the overthinking, or the thoughts that are limiting to the self and to everyone involved. And the reaction of the Queen generally is emotional and upset. When we are upset, we're not thinking clearly. When we're relaxed, things just flow more easily, it makes more sense. So we're looking at what is the effect, what is the outcome that we're currently sitting in, and if we backtrack, what were we thinking? What led up to this moment and what led up to that moment? What were we thinking through that process? Simultaneously, what were we feeling? So this is having a look and seeing where we're holding the tension. Our body is an antenna and it's a guidance system telling us when we are on track and when we're deviating from our true peace and our true power. So if you're having someone who isn't unwell at the moment and they are bedridden, the only thing that they're able to do in that moment is what's happening in the mind. They can't actually get up and do anything, but if they change and declutter what's happening in their mental closet, it certainly helps the process of healing, because you're not burdened and weighed down by the story. We have the Page of Swords presenting, and swords is the element of air. Air is mental processes, thinking, thoughts. They use the sword in this particular representation of the mental realm because the sword is a weapon. It's also a tool. And if you don't sharpen it and you don't look after it, it can be blunt and rusty, and it doesn't operate as best as it should. It's also something that needs to be respected. It cannot hurt anyone. The person wielding it hurts more than anything if they do not know how to use it properly. So it's a representation of the mind. If you do not understand how your mind works as a tool to help you create what the heart desires, then it can cause a little bit of havoc. You know, thoughts are running away, or you're doing it for different reasons that are not in line with your true nature. You know, if you gave a toddler a knife, they can very much hurt themselves with it. And if you allow, you know, someone who's not trained or is immature in understanding how to utilize this tool properly, they can either hurt themselves or they can hurt people around them. And it's the same with the mind. If you understand that we have thoughts, they're contagious, you know, and we're more susceptible to people that we are open to and that we trust. So this is just trying to highlight how you can understand the way that the mind works and see it as a tool, and how you can sharpen it and how you can respect it and understand it without hurting yourself or anybody else. Putting it in the right hands, which is your own, and not allowing other people to fill it with their own ideas, because that can affect how you are expressing yourself, because it's not in alignment with your true nature. So it's just a matter of, you know, journaling is a huge thing, and it helps you to put thoughts out on paper without actually having input from other people. First you can assess it, and then you can test it out into the world. So journaling is a way of looking at your thoughts, expressing your thoughts without feeling judged, and just getting it out of your mental realm, so that you can declutter and the energy flows much more freely and in a better direction. I also feel like this reading is about who you resonate with and why, and do they bring this sense of peace and power and expansion, or do they bring this sense of contraction and draining and energy that doesn't align with you? This is all kind of working in together, and it's about what you're choosing to allow into your temple. Now we got the Queen, you know, with the peacock, and it is to represent beauty. It's to represent everything that is beautiful about the natural world and who you are when you are in your natural element. So it's removing, just about removing the aspects that are within your control, out of your temple, out of your psyche. Everything is cause and effect. The effect was created from a set of thoughts and choices, and those set of thoughts and choices were made from another set of thoughts and choices, and then that was also made from another set of thoughts and choices. So at the top of this reading, I was talking about just observing the energy around the health issue that you're having at the moment, and being able to observe even how the masculine aspect of yourself is operating. What's the story behind it? This is about unraveling. Now, I don't want to trigger anyone, and you may have been triggered, but this is about you owning yourself and having the power. You are always powerful. So it's unraveling the story or the entanglement, one knot at a time. And sometimes it can get quite messy, but it's owning it and taking control and sharpening your mental tool. You own it, not it owns you. And whenever you untangle, then what happens is that your inner king and inner queen have the space to express themselves freely. And you do that naturally when you're most relaxed, and then you have this feeling of joy. So things that were working for you in the past helped for that particular moment. But what's happening here in this health scenario is it's no longer working. And so it's just being able to shift out of that in a beautiful and gentle way. There's many ways to establish rest and relaxation. And it's a moment-to-moment thing. Many people have been affected over the last 3 years. And there has been a lot of fear propaganda, fear being driven. That is a way to make people compliant and being outwardly focused. You know, all of a sudden people are telling you what to think or eat or wear or be. And that is, for me, mental assault. So I'm sharing this because regardless of the choices that you have made, regardless of what's happened in the last 3 years in terms of health matters, you always have the power, but the power comes from within. And this is what I'm seeing here in this particular reading. You have the power. The world is a naturally beautiful place when we are not tainting it with matters of fear. The change that we're all having to go through is actually getting us to be more in charge of who we are and who we want to be. And it's taking control of our mind first and foremost and sharpening that tool. This young character here, it's the page, so that's a young character, has the sword, but it's pointing down to the ground. And it's quite a large, it's almost, half his body size. So our minds are quite big, and the more we add into our minds, the bigger it seems. And when we stress, a lot of story and a lot of thoughts go flying around. And then that can upset our feeling self, our goddess self. And she's letting us know that whatever we're thinking is either leading us towards our peace and power or taking us away from it. And once you have been able to observe how you think through every situation, then you have the mastery of the masculine. And his position is creative. That's why in many religions the god head is actually a masculine figure, because what he thinks, he creates. And whoever receives that thought, that projection, is going to create that and multiply it. So it happens within, but it also happens in relationships as well. Our masculine is our mind, our feminine is our body, and they need to work in harmony. So if you're starting the journey, questioning why is this happening to me, this is a great opportunity to say, I own my mind, not my mind owns me. And start to understand how this tool works. What is its best aspect? What happens when we don't sharpen this tool? And how can we best wield it? Because our natural state is celebration and joy. And it becomes hindered when we take too much stuff on. And we're putting our energies into the wrong things, or someone is projecting their energies onto you that is not leading you towards your most peaceful and powerful self. Now, for the next 21 days, make a time with yourself, make a date with yourself. It doesn't have to be long, it can be 5 minutes. It's a commitment to you. 5 minutes every day, undisturbed, at the same time. Whatever works for you. Midnight, 6 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock, whenever you have a spare 5 minutes to yourself. And just focus and observe on if you're holding tension or not, and breathing into that. Not forcing it, just drawing in the breath, breathing into that space and then releasing. And doing that for 5 minutes every day for the next 21 days. And see if you can start to see a shift in your energy. If you like this reading, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, drop it in the box below. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye for now.